Diep suddenly fell ill, causing the whole family to panic. For the first time, James and his mother had to take care of Diep all night long. Worrying about every little thing, Nhi cried, afraid that her mother would not get well. That night, the small house was filled with anxiety. But it was also the night when the family bond became closer than ever. Will Diep recover quickly? And what will James do to protect the happiness of his small family? That afternoon, the atmosphere in the house became quiet. Diep lay on the bed, her face pale, sweat beading on her forehead. James saw that scene and panicked, hurriedly calling the doctor to come to the house to examine her. While waiting, he sat next to the bed, gently holding Diep's hand as if to reassure her, occasionally bending down to check her temperature. Not long after, James's mother also hurriedly arrived. As soon as she entered, she put her bag on the table, approached the bed. "Diep, I'm here, don't worry, you just lie down and rest. Let me and James take care of it." Her warm voice made Diep feel more at ease. She carefully wiped the sweat on Diep's forehead, helped her sit up to take the medicine, and made her a cup of warm water. After that, she went to the kitchen to cook porridge until it was very soft. Then brought it up and fed it to Diep by spoonful. Diep softly said, "Thank you very much, Uncle." Her eyes filled with tears. The doctor came, examined her thoroughly, and assured her that Diep only had a cold and needed to rest for a few days. James breathed a sigh of relief, but still carefully instructed the doctor on how to monitor Diep's condition. When the doctor left, he continuously adjusted the bedding, wrung a warm towel to cover Diep's forehead, and never left her side. Nhi sat huddled in the corner of the bed, hugging her teddy bear tightly. Her eyes were red, and she occasionally looked towards Diep. When she saw Diep eat a few spoonfuls of porridge, Nhi let out a soft sigh of relief but was still sad. Mom Diep, get well soon. I don't want to see Mom Diep so tired." Nyi's choked voice made both James and his mother speechless. That night, the two adults took turns staying by the bed. The house was quiet but filled with warmth. Although still tired, Diep gently held Nyi's hand, smiling weakly, as if to reassure both James and the little girl that everything would be okay. The next morning, the gentle sunlight filtered through the window, illuminating the room, making the atmosphere warmer. Diep's fever had gone down. Her face had returned to its rosy color. James opened the door very gently, stepped in, and smiled slightly when he saw Diep leaning against the pillow, much more alert. "Diep, how are you feeling?" "I'm much better, just a little tired." From the kitchen, James's mother's warm voice rang out, "The porridge is ready. Let me bring it up for Diep to eat breakfast." Soon, she appeared with a bowl of hot porridge, carefully simmered with minced meat and vegetables, the aroma spreading throughout the room. She placed the bowl of porridge on the table, gently helping Diep sit up. "Eat a little to regain your strength. This morning I also cooked ginger tea. It's good for sick people." Nhi ran to the bed, her eyes sparkling. "Mom Diep, you look better today. I also drew a picture for you." She held out a piece of paper with a drawing of 3 people smiling happily. Diep looked at the picture and smiled brightly. "Thank you. This picture is very beautiful." James sat down next to her, watching her eat each spoonful of porridge. Every time she swallowed a bite, he breathed a sigh of relief, as if a burden had been lifted. "Diep, you have to rest for a few more days. Don't do any heavy work," James reminded, his voice both serious and full of concern. The atmosphere in the house that morning was very gentle. James's mother was cleaning the dishes while smiling as she watched James and Nhi take care of Diep. She felt more at ease. It was clear that Diep was not only loved by James but also accepted by the whole family. After Diep finished her cup of ginger tea, she leaned her head on the pillow and let out a soft sigh. Thank you, James. Thank you, Nhi. Thanks to everyone. I feel much better." Nhi hugged Diep tightly. "Diep's mother must get well soon so that we can play together again." That evening, dinner was served earlier than usual. James's mother prepared a light, nutritious meal: chicken soup with Chinese herbs, boiled vegetables with ginger fish sauce, and a plate of fragrant braised fish. The aroma spread throughout the kitchen, warming the whole house in the cool evening. Diep was able to walk slowly by herself. When she saw the neat meal, she could not hide her emotion. "You have worked so hard. Thank you so much." James's mother smiled gently. "Taking care of each other when we are sick is a normal thing. My dear, you are an important person to James, and also someone I love. I can only feel at ease if you are healthy." Hearing those words, Diep bowed her head slightly. Her eyes filled with tears. James, who was sitting next to her, immediately spoke up. "Diep, don't worry, you look much better today. The doctor also said that as long as you eat and rest well, you will recover completely." Nhi sat next to her, picked up a piece of fish and put it in her mother Diep's bowl. "Mother Diep, eat a lot. I'll tell you stories about school tomorrow," the little girl said and laughed. But there was still a bit of worry in her eyes. Diep smiled, patted Nhi's head. "Mother Diep promises to get well soon, so we can go for a walk together this weekend." The whole meal was filled with laughter. Occasionally, James would glance at Diep, as if to make sure she was really okay. James's mother just sat quietly observing, her heart filled with indescribable joy. She clearly saw that Diep was not only the person James loved, but also the person who knew how to love and care for Nhi like her own child. At that moment, James's mother clearly felt that, although she had not officially become a part of the family, Diep's heart was attached to this place. The next day, while sitting on a bench in the park, Nhi was absorbed in eating ice cream. James and Diep were chatting happily, when from afar a voice rang out. "Diep, is that Diep?" Diep turned around, his eyes slightly surprised. It was a middle-aged man, neatly dressed, holding a briefcase in his hand. He walked quickly towards them, his face showing surprise. "Uncle Kai?" Diep stuttered, not believing her eyes. This was the old neighbor, who used to be very close to Diep's family, but she hadn't seen him for many years. Uncle Kai smiled gently. "I didn't expect to see you here. How have you been? I haven't heard from your family for a long time." Diep bowed her head slightly, her voice low. "I'm fine, Uncle Kai." James noticed that Diep was a bit confused, so he stood up and gently introduced himself and Nhi. Uncle Kai looked at Nhi for a moment. His eyes suddenly lowered. "You're such a good girl. But Diep, I have something to tell you in private. It's about a sum of money that your parents borrowed from me before." The atmosphere immediately became tense. James gently held Diep's hand, as if to reassure her. Diep bit her lip, feeling her heart beat faster. Many old memories came flooding back, the days when her family struggled everywhere to pay off debts, the sleepless nights because of the fear of having their house seized,